What is up, guys? My name's Simeon. My name is Yen. I play The Sims. Did you see what I did there? Just to let you guys know, I am taking note on the comments you guys have made based on how fast I speak. And it's something that I get all the time, and it's something that I naturally do. So again, it's something I have to work on as a content creator, and I did take note of it. So I'm listening to you guys. I hear y'all. I will try my hardest to go slower when reading things and just talking in general. With that being said, today we're going to be talking about a lot of what's going on, of course, with the Horse Ranch pack, including early access content, as well as why the lots are so small. And we're going to be talking about cap sizes when it comes down to Create a Sim. But before we get into any of those topics, I did want to mention that I am now officially streaming over on Twitch for those who have Twitch, and it's just amazing community that we've had so much fun. I know some of you guys, even from my YouTube channel, have been starting to go back and watch some of the videos, but I did notice that a lot of you guys didn't have Twitch, so I did make a YouTube channel where I will be posting all of my Twitch streams over on that channel, and of course I'm going to link it down below. It's going to be in the description box, and I'm going to be going live later on tonight, so it'll be really fun to hang out with you guys and talk all things Sims. That's basically what the Twitch channel is about. I just play The Sims while we also talk about basically what we talk about on here, but just more in depth, and I'm able to talk back to you guys and hear your questions and responses. And again, I'm having a lot of fun with it, and of course for those who don't have Twitch, it's totally fine. I'll be also leaving it for those who just end up missing a live and who can't make it and want to watch it. I will leave that as well, so feel free to subscribe. It's called The Simeon Streams, and it'll be really fun to just hang out and talk to you guys. Again, I'm streaming later on tonight, most likely 6 to 7 o'clock, and I'm on the West Coast, okay? So Pacific Standard Time. With that being said, just check out my Twitter because that will all be there and all the information, but I'm rambling on. Let's get into the video. Also, the winner of the giveaways will be announced later this week, and on the July 21st, they will be announced. There will be 2 winners for the new Horse Ranch expansion pack. All you have to do is be subscribed to my YouTube channel, as well as following me on Twitter or TikTok. With that being said, we are going to dive deep into the very first topic of today's video, and of course, it's all about the Horse Ranch expansion pack and what's been going on lately. Many people have been wondering where the early access content is, including myself, as we get closer to the release of the Horse Ranch expansion pack. Now, Sim Guru Popcorn did tweet about some EA game changers who did work on the project, such as Crispy Y2, Simprove, Dr. Ashley, and Ninister on the Chestnut Ridge build. Now, just because they did announce this doesn't mean they're exactly having early access, but I assume because they are builders, why not have early access to this? But no one has said anything. Now, of course, many people are assuming that it's because of the fact that there is no gameplay to show off for early access content, or it could be because of all the backlash they are trying to avoid. I did notice that Chrissy YouTube actually retweeted this specific tweet by the Grim Sims Reaper saying, "I think Horse Ranch makes more sense as an EP if you stop thinking of horses as just one feature. They have 4 different skills, and Sims are getting too irked. There's horse breeding, which includes unlockable traits, and horses are a whole new species with tons of animations and traits." Again, I'm going to be curious to hear your thoughts and opinions down below based on this tweet, and does go on to continue to say, aside from horses, there's 2 new events to host, tons of Create a Sim and BB for both Sims and horses, a really big world with interactive stuff, competitions, and nectar making. There may not be a ton of side features unrelated to horses, but that doesn't mean there's a lack of content. Now, the Sims Grim Reaper does continue on to say, yeah, if you aren't interested in horses, there isn't much for you here, but there isn't much in this pack for people who don't like horses is very different from saying there isn't much in this path at all. And I don't see a problem with it being horse focused because, and of course, again, I want to hear y'all opinions on this, and I'm going to get into mine in just a second, but he does go on to continue to say that the pack is just horses. It was made for all the people requesting horses. I think that the team did a wonderful job with the theme, and there's definitely enough content there to justify it being an expansion pack. And I don't think horses could be nearly as well done in a game pack. Now, I have my thoughts and opinions. I'm going to get into that in just a second, but I did find that interesting that one of the creators, they haven't said much about anything that's going on with early release content, but it's, someone that was working on the project ended up retweeting that specific tweet, meaning they are seeing the backlash. They are understanding that people are just not happy with the way and the responses of basically charging $40 for just horses. Now, in my personal opinion, although I do agree with some of the points, there is a lot in this pack. No one's denying that. I don't think anyone has ever said there's not enough in this pack. I think people are saying it's not enough for an expansion pack. If this was a game pack, this would have been loaded with stuff and people would have been A-okay. But the fact that it's just literally all about one specific horse, and there's like these repeated animations as well as not much to do outside of that. When you think expansion pack, you think, okay, even though there's something specifically going on, what can I do with it? What can I do more with it? You know what I mean? An expansion is something that's supposed to be, it expands more in the world. Not something, if we're just focusing on just horses, that's going to make me even more frustrated, because horses could have been very well with cottage living. You know what I mean? Or other packs. The fact that, or even my wedding stories, to be honest, but the fact that they, you know, waited and, you know, microtransactioned, and, you know, they knew that people really wanted horses, so they decided to flip it and make more money out of it and say, let's do an expansion pack versus a game pack, and they got greedy, and now they're facing backlash. Now people are like, what do you mean? I understand the frustration. I understand why people are mad, because I'm a little frustrated. I'm a little not angry, because you know, again, I always come in with low expectations when it comes down to The Sims 4, but it is very, you know, I think the right word is just frustrating. It's frustrating knowing that what could have been, and they continuously do things on purpose because they know that they care about, you know, quantity over quality. As long as they have DLCs, people will buy them, and they know that if people have been asking for this for years, people are going to spend their money on it. So no matter how many people complain, at the end of the day, they're still gaining money. So that's the aspect of where frustration comes from. I don't think anyone's denying that it's a very empty pack. I don't think it's an empty game pack. I think it's an empty expansion pack. That's my personal opinion on it. That's my take on it. Again, I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions, but we are going to get into the very next topic. Now, The Sims has been promoting the Horse Ranch expansion pack, and with that, they have been pushing the Create a Sim on horses. One specific simmer ended up tweeting by the name of Tamika saying, can we have horses in all worlds? And then The Sims replied, yibs. I feel like the reason people are asking this question is because they realize that the lots are way too small in this world. Now, Magnetic, who is working on The Sims 4 as well, said, howdy y'all, here are the lot sizes for Chestnut Ridge. Enjoy. As you guys can see, there is a lot of 30 and 20 and under. There's about 164 by 64 and 50 by 50. Now, you would think with the Horse Ranch expansion pack that the world and the, you know, just the lots would be bigger, because we're going to need space for our horses, correct? Now, with all that things being said, someone by the name of Peter said, why are we getting so many small lots lately? My Sims can never have a nice backyard in the newer world, and I completely agree. If we're going to have pets and animals and all this, why not have more 64 or 50 by 50 lots? Now, I did find this video very interesting, and I watched this when it first came out. It's one of James Turner's videos where he sat down with Lindsay Pearson, and I want you guys to listen very closely. I'll actually link everything down below, but go ahead and check this video out really quick.
4 has been, I think, much more limited in terms of the lots that we have, like the number of lots. Obviously, previously on Sims 3, we could add new lots, even same with the Sims 2. So every time a new world comes, we're pretty excited to see what kind of lots we get. Yeah. And then there's been the sort of trend of smaller and smaller worlds. So we're just wondering if there was, you know, you'd consider doing another empty world, because it was briefly explained that new worlds obviously bring new Sims and more detail, and that's kind of adding to, I guess, the bulk of the game as kind of performance limitations in some cases.
Yeah, that's it's a complicated one for that reason, right?
Yeah, well, even me describing it then, that's so boring. You might have tuned out. I don't know.
Yeah, so there is, I mean, it's just across the board, there's always more we want to do that we can't quite do for lots of different reasons. Not even just it's too hard, but it's a lot, usually, you know, some prioritization and sometimes performance concerns. We are one of those few games that still runs on pretty old machines, right? Like, you can have a pretty low spec machine.
Like
yeah, which is kind of incredible. Not a lot of games do that, but that means we have to think about that when we think about what we are putting into the world. So it's partially why you see it's never as many lots as we feel like we can shove in there, right? Or it's never as big a houses as we feel like we want to build, because we're trying to balance that with what we know we may want to do down the line, so that we don't sort of do too much of it up front and then make a game kind of just fall apart.
Yeah.
Again, if you want to see that entire video, I will link it down below. It's really interesting and you get really good insight on everything. I also did want to mention that SimGuru Nick actually tweeted this a couple of years ago, saying simulation lag is a symptom, not a bug. There are dozens of different reasons it can happen. We make perfect fixes every patch, but we'd love to make more. If you have lag in your game, please send me your save. With that being said, we are going to move into the very next topic, and people did notice that when doing the Create a Sim live stream, horses are now going to be added as a slot and family member. Now, we do have only up to 8 slots, and many simmers were concerned about this. I'm going to get into a couple of tweets now. With that being said, Princess Peapod said, so horses take up a family slot. If I have a married sim and we have a horse, that's 4 spots. That barn cat, sheepdog, 6. We have 2 kids and they can't even have their own horses, so no family rides unless we kick out the cat and dog. Was really hoping for an upgrade to at least 10, and that's really unfortunate because again I do feel like they should up it. But Carl's Guide, who's a really known modder in the Sims, saying it's likely due to the 20 sim soft cap. You go using a family and go to a restaurant, for example, and hardly anyone could be there if anyone tagged along. I think this cap is a bit low and that it needs to be an option. Newer desktops have no trouble with 30 to 40 sims, and I completely agree. You know, people don't have the same computers they did like 10 years ago. Come on, Sims, let's get with the program. He does continue on to say, yeah, it's outright harder on the CPU if there are more Sims that need to run AI and pathfinding each cycle. Higher power processors can handle more in a reasonable time frame. Using speed 3 can cause more things to happen at once though, so even they can get strange lag. With that being said, again, Carl's Guide is a very good source when it comes down to, I trust his opinion because he's a very good modder. He is the icon when it comes down to fixing the dine out situation. I'll link it down below as well. And someone else by the name of Hannah said they should separate sim slots and pet slots. When I did take a look at this tweet, someone else responded back to the specific tweet stating that the Sims 3 actually had that. Thanks to Animal Girl Forever, we are going to take a deep dive into what the Sims 3 horses look like back in the day. Now this is a complete 360 because again, I wasn't here during the Sims 3 pets era on the computer. I actually only played on my PSP, but if you take a look at this, the Sims horses actually had its own separate slots, so it wasn't included in the household. Now I could be wrong, or if I'm not understanding that right, again, I did miss this era. And for those who did play Sims 3, please let me know down below in the comments, how was it, and did you guys, was it a whole nother thing? Was it included in the households? You know, what was the process like on this? I would love to know more information on this. And when you notice on the Create a Sim, it's a complete 360 where everything is like, everything's combined all in one. You can see it below on the little, you know, the Create a Sims, where, you know, each sim and each horse is all combined as one entire household. Now, I do understand the frustrations because it's like, okay, you guys want us, right? Horses, sheep, cows, cats, dogs, children, infants, adults, elders, and you want us to cap all of that at 8. It just doesn't make sense for gameplay. Now, again, I do want to mention that I do stream on Twitch, and I am going to be streaming later on tonight. It's going to be a late night stream where we're going to be talking all things Sims. I'm really excited to dive deep into it more with you guys. And again, for those who are going to be missing out on the Twitch stream, it's totally fine. Again, I do have a YouTube channel where I'm going to be uploading more of the streams. Actually, the 2 past streams I've did, I'm going to be uploading later on today, and it's called the Simeon Streams. Of course, it'll be linked down in the description as well. But again, for those who are interested in following me over on Twitch, I will link that down as well. With that being said, again, we are days away from the announcement of the 2 winners for the Horse Ranch expansion pack. All you have to do is be subscribed to my YouTube channel as well as following me on Twitter or TikTok. With that all being said, I want to thank you guys so much for all the love and support. I can officially say that we are on the road to 30K. And again, whether you know, first of all, let's do a recap. Let me know how you guys feel about the whole Sims 3 and the Sims 4 horses, and do you guys feel like they're repeating animations? Let me also know how you guys feel about the world. What's going on with the new lots in the world, and how do you guys feel about, you know, horses joining in on the slots instead of being its own separate thing, as well as just navigating how we are going to be doing gameplay with not only just the horses being in the slots, but also the world in general is like 30 by 20s, and there's just not going to be enough room for as big of a, you know, gameplay family as we'd like. And then also, I do want to get into the early access content. I'm very curious to hear your opinions on that as well. With that being said, I do want to thank you guys so much for being so supportive and all the love you have been giving me on the past couple of videos, and just on my Twitch over as well. Like, you guys have just all been so supportive, and oh my gosh, why am I getting emotional at like 8 o'clock in the morning? I'm just really overwhelmed and grateful for the amount of love that you guys have each poured into me. And again, whether you're a silent viewer, whether you watch my videos or share it, or, you know, you leave a like, which truly does help out my channel. At the end of the day, you still supporting me in some kind of way, and for that, I thank you. This is why I do the giveaways. I try to give back to the community as much because you guys pour so much love into me, and you guys give back to me. I want to give back to you guys. With that being said, why am I like, I'm getting all like, oh my gosh. Anyway, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye.